If there's a Game 6, it'll be played Sunday afternoon in Tampa. Devils game night will begin the coverage on Fox Sports Net. At 3 o'clock, the opening faceoff comes your way a little after 3:30. Tampa Bay is doing its best to ensure that there will be a Game 6. As we're 1-1 after the first overtime. And the way the Devils started that first overtime, Stan Fischler, you would think that they are trying to ensure that there will be a Game 6.
Well, there were some tremendous moments, and there were also some terrific gaffes. And something that we said all season, Matty, was that the Devils' power play needed some retooling. Boy, it needs retooling now, because the chances that they had to put the game away in the overtime, and that last opportunity, even though it carries over into the next period, there were some awful plays, bad passes. It just seemed like they were very thoughtless. But I give a ton of credit to the Tampa Bay penalty killers and to Coach John Tortorella. His strategy is excellent. They're springing players on the counterattack very efficiently, and they had some chances to win the game as well.
It'll be a little more difficult to do it in this overtime period because they'll be making the long change, but they certainly took advantage on 2 occasions in particular of bad line changes, slow line changes by the Devils, but they were unable to score. John Tortorella saw his team take not 1 but 2 penalties in that overtime. A lot was allowed to be let go by the officials. They just turned their head the other way, but they did call 2, and John Tortorella, we believe it was John, it was certainly somebody from his coaching staff. They were behind a curtain down the hallway, lit into the officials in words not appropriate for family television about what they thought of those calls.
Well, as we said between periods, it looks like the next penalty will be against New Jersey just by the law of averages, unless, of course, they manage to score on the power play or get a goal before that. But right now, it's the same situation as it was before. It's the 2 goalies are battling it out, and Graham has really held the fort. Marty Brodeur made some excellent saves. What surprises me is that the Devils do not seem as poised as you'd expect from an experienced team. They seem tighter than Tampa Bay.
Well, they certainly seem that way. At least in the first 10 minutes, they had some chances. It went on, but the first 10 minutes of the overtime clearly went Tampa's way. Does John Tortorella have a complaint? When you let a lot go, should you let everything go?
Well, this is the age-old complaint and of consistency. And Andy Van Helmen is here, and I worked the game, that marathon game between the Islanders and Washington that went to about 1:30 in the morning, and he didn't call anything in the overtimes, and that's what you expected. But the thing you got to look for in this overtime are the older players. Now, the Devils have 3 older defensemen. You got Danico, Albeline, and Stevens, and the question is going to be how strong they can be against a very fast attack from Tampa.
The Devils will begin the second overtime period with a man advantage. We're still looking at TCP. Trail the cockamamie bounce. Stan threw this in earlier. We'll see what happens. We'll be back with more on the BMW First Overtime Intermission Report.